Hey everyone, welcome back to Life After Sunday, the Midweek Mic. I wanted to start out with a question.
Great.
When something in your life is totally out of control, do you actually trust God or do you secretly fix it yourself or try to?
I would like to say that I always trust all the time. That's the goal. But I think in our heads, we're always planning and going through the what if scenarios and the possible outcomes and trying to control as much as we can.
Yeah. Can you think of a time specifically where it was just like
not give me any
you
prep
were not
here.
trust. You wanted to trust, but it was so hard to do it.
I know, silly answer, but I've had job stuff before. Everybody does as an adult. You currently can speak to that. But
Mine.
In hindsight, it way worked out better for me. And I was so upset at the time when something didn't work out. But now I'm in the perfect place. So what looked like a closed door was like, wait a second, I have something better. And it all worked out. But I was so upset. I cried a bit over that.
Now, when you were in these moments, did you turn to God, or were you turning to God with a slight fix-it-yourself attitude?
I think at that time, I was probably pushing away because I was like, why? That looked so perfect. I feel like now, as things happen over the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like now I'm getting better at not pushing away. Still, sometimes I do struggle with that throughout different things that go on, but I feel like I'm better.
So you feel like you've grown,
yes,
and have done better with it?
Yes.
I wish I could say the same. I think what you said is correct. I feel a lot of us out there are just people who like to plan and who have that Martha spirit of making sure that I'm doing. Because if I just let it go, it doesn't seem like it's going to magically manifest. Now, there are times where you have to actually do something, but God will tell you to do that. Like you mentioned, I'm going through some job stuff right now that they made some changes, and it made me really evaluate my job and where I'm at, and if I want to move forward with the changes or if I want to maybe pivot and go somewhere else and see what else I'm worth. And it's really made me nervous because you're always worried about moving on to something and it's the grass isn't always greener type situation. But I wish I could say that I totally have put it up into God's hands and I haven't thought about it or...
Tell them the truth.
I'm
Tell them it's constant.
Obsessive thinking all the time of different scenarios and different things that could happen and how would I fix it and what would I do. Yes, that's how I am. And I do pray that, oh God, I know you have this and I don't turn away from him and I gave it to him. But at the same time, I'm over there with my pen and paper trying to think of all the different ways and map out a good, clear, if this happens, then you do this. If this happens, then you do that. And so I think it's more me trying to fix it than giving it to God. But it's hard.
It is hard.
Right? So you're...
Especially for different personalities. We're both more type A people who like to have everything perfectly how we like it to be.
I'm so jealous of you people who just can go with the flow. That's...
So
lucky.
maybe those people don't struggle as much with keeping their hands on everything. I don't know, but I think for me the big time when I realized I have no control over this, when I lost my dad 2.5 years ago now, but you're watching somebody in a sickness and you can't control that. We prayed and we believed, but it was completely God, you have this because what can I do to change a cancer diagnosis? So I think going through that, I had to give it all to him. There was nothing else to do. So I think that this was probably a blessing that came from that. Was I'm getting better now at not controlling because I had such a big thing that I couldn't control.
Yeah. I'm just laughing because during that time where you gave it up, I was thinking, should I try to figure out cancer?
Yeah.
Did I do research?
So everything that happened to me was opposite for you.
Yeah, I was like, I should probably figure out this cancer. Sit down one afternoon and figure it out. Cure it.
I could say stuff about that.
No,
but I won't.
this isn't that podcast.
Not a conspiracy podcast, but I could go there if you wanted me to. Another day, friends, another day. Catch me in person and we'll talk.
Catch me outside.
Catch me outside.
No, I think it's just when you are that type of person and you give it up to God, you do feel like you're not doing anything, or maybe he'll forget.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think a lot of us too in Christian circles, we feel pressure to not be so honest and act like we do have it together. Like I gave it up to God and he'll answer my prayers. But internally you're like, I have no idea. I am freaking out here.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to be honest.
Sure.
We have our doubts, and like we mentioned before, please help me with my faith in my unbelief.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of situation I guess I'm at, is let me stop obsessing over all of them. And you mentioned control, and I think like when I have my therapy sessions, we've talked about, I think I'm wrapping my mind around the fact that I don't have control over a lot of things, and that's where I have anxious thoughts. And so I obsess over all the small little things and the big things. Like what was I just obsessing over? And it has nothing to do with my life. It wouldn't make we were thinking of streaming apps, because we no longer get our free streaming apps from my mother-in-law because she cut us off.
Don't tell the world that we were sharing. That's not allowed.
Who doesn't share?
Somebody from Netflix is listening right now.
Oh, I'm sure. They're one of the 10. So that happened, and then I have all of these choices to make of what streaming app is the best, which one has the best for my family, what won't break the bank. And that kept me up one night, and I mapped out like which one is great, what are the cons, what are the pros, and it's so annoying.
You're just a little bit crazy. That's all.
I am. That's why I go to therapy.
Well, there can be good things to this. Like when we plan a Disney trip, you have all the days scheduled and all the rides scheduled and all the food scheduled and all the things that need to be done. And I can trust, like, Dwayne has this all mapped out. Let's go have a good, successful time because we make the most of every minute. So there's pros to this.
I will let you know, when you are that person who scheduled the whole entire trip and you ask for input and you're like, what restaurants would you like to go to? What rides would you want to do? What characters do you want to see? And they don't provide you any feedback. And you plan out this with an itinerary and stuff, and you get to the day and they're like, I don't really want to do that. I want to do this. Let me tell you, you get upset because you're like, okay.
It wasn't me.
No, it wasn't.
Was it me? Was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even the Disney trip. It was a different trip that I'm thinking of with our siblings. And I was like, you people.
I don't remember it.
Fine,
so.
you pick your restaurant.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe they're more free-spirited and I'm not. So.
Yeah, they were like, wow.
But if I put the time in, you should.
I get it.
Yeah.
But if it's to the point where it's obsession and it's ruminating and you can't get rid of it and it's causing you anxiety, then obviously that's the issue.
Yeah. So what are you saying, like, how, if somebody deals with this, with saying I have the faith, but our actions and our minds aren't really aligning to that. How do we get to that point where we can say, I have the faith and I've given it up to God, and the things that I do and the actions and the thoughts that I have are because this is what God wants me to do and wants me to think, not I have 50 battle plans out and based off the scenario I can do what if analysis.
I've struggled with anxiety, not severely, but in different ways. But what I can say is are you actually trusting God if you feel like you have to map out every scenario yourself? Or can you actually say, I can sit in a place where whatever happens, I know it's fine.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to get there if you're a person who does struggle to get there.
You know what? I feel like I have growth though.
Yeah.
Because in our finances, I used to be very obsessive about it.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, if we have the money or if this happens, God will allow it. And I do say with this whole job situation, it's not that I'm nervous about the end, because I know that God has it, and if the job opportunity presents itself and all the doors open, then I know that is what God wanted me to do. I think I'm just more obsessively comparing all of my options and not sure which way to go with it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm having a little, maybe I should sit down and like really meditate with God on the situation.
Yeah, but what are you afraid of though? What part of that is stressful for you, scary you? What do you know what I'm saying?
I think anything is like, right now I'm comfortable and I like what I do, but then since I started job searching, I've seen all of these opportunities that first of all only have one responsibility in a job instead of like several different ones from other people's jobs, but they also pay a lot more.
Money's always nice.
And they're 100% remote. So like everything aligns. It's just I'm afraid to take that step because I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah.
Am I allowing comfortability
like,
to
maybe afraid to fail? Like you don't want to leave and it not work out.
Yeah, and I think that's the point. That's for everything. The reason that I am afraid to not have control of it is because I don't want to give it up and then it fail, and then I feel like I didn't do anything in that situation. Even when we have Disney trips, I don't want it to be
you take a lot of everyone's happiness on yourself. If someone's not having a good time, you would take that on yourself.
That's why I think it's so exhausting when you have like big family trips or big friend trips. Like, we don't really have friends, so we don't take friend trips.
Friends.
We don't go on trips. But I think it's exhausting because, I feel like the entertainment factor is placed on me because they're on a trip with me. And
no, I get it. I feel that too. But but if the thought of failure scares you, I think you have to look at that too as, what does it matter though? There would be something else. You're not failing completely. Like God still has you. You would still have something else to go to. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I think sometimes in life God gives you those moments where it looks like failure to yourself and the world, but to him it's an opportunity to grow and learn.
Yeah.
Because I think most of the time in my life where I have failed is where I grow the most.
Sure.
Because I know that's not what I want to do, or I can see a characteristic of God in my life. Times that I have gone to a different job and it hasn't been the best and I completely freaked out. God had me in the situation and he took me to a different position that was lower pay and that was not really what I wanted to do, but it was a job. And through that job, I learned so much that I was able to fast track to other positions and better pay than if I would have stayed in that situation. Mm-hmm. And also with the toxic environment that I was in, I would have learned business skills that would have been horrible for my career and my personality. It wasn't who I am. I'm not somebody who maliciously sets people up for failure or points out flaws without being constructive and providing assistance. And that's like the environment I was in. Like you said, now that I'm on the other end of it, I can see where God was at. And in that time of that failure, I understand that he does have me in the situation. So I think that's why in this situation, I know no matter what's going to happen, it's going to be good. It's just, I also don't want to go through that stretching and growing process because it does hurt. I feel like since the end of 2025 and beginning of 2026, it's like the year of my stretching and pulling, and it's been exhausting so far.
And like you said, you like to be comfortable. So who wants to sit in discomfort while you work through things?
So God has really brought me through, or is with me right now through so many uncomfortable situations that I'm excited to see what I look like on the other end of it, because I'm currently in the uncomfortable seasons. And it's funny because it's not just one area of my life that's uncomfortable. It's like several areas of my life that are getting overhauled. And yeah, at times I'm like, this is awesome, this is great, I get to see God at work in my life. But then there are a lot of times where this is exhausting, and am I going to make it? And I know he is, and in those moments I do turn to him and I cling, and I know that he'll get me through it, and tomorrow's another day.
And it's okay to have a human moment and say, I'm tired, like I'm ready for this to be over.
Yeah, and I think that's what pressures Christians a lot, is that we have to not admit that we're human and to say that we have flaws and failures, because the world will jump on and attack that so quickly. Yeah, you're right. And we talked last time about like the valley and how uncomfortable it is, but there's purpose for it, and it's only a season, and you walk through it and you come out and you've learned more about God, more was revealed to you, and you developed character, and fruit comes from those things. So it's work, and it's hard right now, but you're pruning a lot of things, and I think rewiring, in those moments where you are up against something and you're like, I want to have the faith, but I don't know if God's going to do it at this time. And I think of those times where God had people set up monuments, stones and stuff to memorialize what happened at that time where God prevailed. And I think that's what we have to do in our lives, is we look back and we say, like in my situation, okay, I was in this spot 12 years ago. He came through, and I know he'll come through now. Yeah. So I think when we're up to those, even those new ones where we don't have past experiences with that exact situation, but I know that he's been faithful through the other ones up until now, and you can rely on the faithfulness. He's my firm foundation. Yeah. Amelia would love that. Yeah. You know, when it seems dark and you're like, this situation is above what God can do, that's basically what you're saying when you say you don't have faith. Yeah. And I think Pastor Patty talked about evaluating where your faith is. So checking in on yourself. Am I lacking? Like, how am I doing? Mm-hmm. Just search yourself and see, are you trusting right now? Mm-hmm. Are you just on a meter? Like, where are you at? Yeah. You got to do that once in a while. Check in with yourself. Yeah. Check in with your friends. If I am honest and I check in with myself with, let's say, my job situation, I do have faith that God will provide. I think I'm just overwhelmed with the whole job search situation. That's just overwhelming in itself, especially in this day and age with, like, you have HR recruiters who are no longer actually looking at the applications because they get thousands of applications for job postings, especially those remote. I've noticed this remote, like within an hour we'll have over 100 applications, but if it's an on-site job, it will go the whole month and there will be like 10. Yeah. So unfortunately, on-site, there's not a lot of on-site around me, but it's so hard because then they run them through AI generators, and if you don't have the right wording that will trigger your resume to spit out for the job, then you aren't in the running. Sure. So it's hard to... So it's tricky. It's just been tricky, and I think it's just that part is overwhelming me, and I should just let God guide me to the positions that I should actually apply for. Yeah. and to have faith that if it's meant to be, it will be.
And trust too, like maybe it's not a right or wrong job, but trust that wherever you are, he can use you there.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
Like maybe there's not a perfect answer. Maybe that's why you don't hear clarity all the time. But do you trust that wherever you are, God has you and you can be used there?
Yeah. I looked at some places, financial institutions that are Christian based. Oh. Didn't think they were out there, and they are. Unfortunately, they're on site and
not near us,
further away than I can travel.
Needed it.
But I thought it would be cool to align my skill set with my beliefs, but it's not happening at this moment.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. With faith and situations where you felt like God may have not answered us quickly, what do you do in that waiting?
I think you have to remember that he's not a distant God, even when we feel that way. We so often like to go off of our feelings. So when he can feel far away and we can feel scared by that or sad by that or upset by that, that we're not hearing anything. But you have to look at yourself and say, am I also still showing up? Am I persevering through this? Am I getting in my word each day? Am I giving time for him to speak to me each? Because he's the same. It's us that we draw back for so many reasons and over so many things, over busyness or over if you're struggling, if you're going through a situation that's hard and maybe you're not putting that daily time in. So there's a lot of things that we're not showing up and then we're blaming him for not speaking. And even maybe we know the answer, but we're not listening because it's not the answer we like. So there's just a lot that's on us in that aspect because he's present. Are we also being present in this season that feels drier?
Yeah.
We have to put in the time.
Yeah. We have to abide in him.
Yeah.
And through him, we have that living peace that passes all understanding. I think, we would want to be in his word, in his presence and prayer and reflection. But I think sometimes it just seems so much easier said than done because stress. You'll be stressed about the situation. Sure. It makes you tired, makes you not want to do anything. Yeah. And that's when you have to push even closer to God because that's just the enemy trying to separate you from him.
And you think too, the realness of the spiritual realm, and I think it was Matthew when he preached the last couple of weeks, but talked about how Daniel was praying for something and there was an angel coming, but it took him 21 days to get there because he was fighting spirits up in the spiritual realm. So there's things trying to block you from hearing God all the time. Obviously, Satan doesn't want us to have that access to the Creator. So don't you think he's trying to distract you? He's trying to keep you busy. He's trying to make you doubt. He's trying to get you in your feelings so that you're not showing up. He's doing everything he can to sever that connection. I think you have to push through even more when it feels...
And what a perfect way, too, is... So if I'm praying here and there, I'm not as persistent in my Bible, but then I believe God will have me. And let's say I'm not listening for God's direction. I'm just doing my own thing. And next thing, I'm rock bottom in the situation. At that point, you probably decide, I'm not going to follow God because what did it do for me? Because you think you followed and you think that you did everything correctly and that you had faith, that you said with words, I believe. But in your heart and your mind, you didn't actually. You went away from him and you didn't hear from him.
You did what you thought was best. Yeah.
I mean, it's such a ripple effect of something that will separate you from God and not keep you with him. Are those moments where you do need to have the faith, but it might be more, I'm not saying you need to have works, but you have to work towards
you have to show up.
Him.
You have to make an effort. Like in a relationship, you have to think when you're dating somebody and you want to talk to them all the time, you give them things and spend time with them. What would it be if you didn't do that? So it's the same with him. If you're not spending time with him, what kind of relationship is it?
Yeah, I was just thinking about our relationship and how we have Easter coming up. And I was like, oh man, you used to give me peanut butter eggs and...
Guess what I bought you?
Shoot.
A peanut butter egg. What'd you buy me?
Got you something good.
When we were dating, you made this like scavenger hunt for me, remember?
That's super
You
cute.
were super cute. Yeah, he left notes all over, and there were like, I don't even remember what the gifts were, but I found them all over the apartment.
The gifts
I remember there was
like,
one big stuffed duck. I remember the duck. That's all I can think
wasn't
of.
there a camera? Like, they were expensive gifts.
Well, you got me a lot of good gifts over all the things,
I
so
know.
I don't know what was what.
But I was a broke college student working part-time and cleaning toilets. What was I doing?
I don't know what you were doing. But it worked, I guess. I liked it. So.
Yeah, because right now I don't have money to do a little egg hunt for you where everything's
okay. I don't need an egg hunt.
A new gadget.
I don't need a bunch of candy either. Do I want it? Yes. Do I need it? No.
So good.
Maybe I'll take a bite out of your egg that I got for you.
You can't do that. But
what were we saying?
I was just saying, yeah.
Where do we go?
I just think it's funny how we grow into where I don't get Easter candy, but you did give me candy, so that's cool. No, I think in our relationship too is where a lot of faith has been tested, where you're relying on God and you're relying on this other person to come through. And I think throughout our marriage, maybe even the start of our relationship, it was just like, will this person leave me if I let them more inside, you know? And surprisingly, here we are, and neither of us have left yet. I don't think we're going to, right?
Not yet. No, I'm kidding.
No, but like, I think it's just, as we got deeper in our relationship, there was more trust to be like, okay, I trust you with this. I trust you with that.
Sure.
You can have this information. You can have this piece of me.
You have to feel safe before you're vulnerable with somebody.
Yeah.
Vulnerable.
And I think that's the same with God, is like, as I go throughout life, if I don't give him the small things and then I get to a big situation, I'm not going to give that big situation to him because I don't trust him.
And same back to us. If he is speaking to us and we're not obedient in the little things, why would he give us more? We have to not prove ourselves, but you have to show like, yeah, I am willing and I am obedient.
So I'm thinking about it, and that's why I'm not rich right now. Because apparently
we're not good stewards
when I was part-time in college and I was making like what, $50 a week,
and
I was out buying you
diamond earrings.
I did. I bought you diamond earrings, a new TV. No, you bought
laptop?
Me the TV. I bought you the laptop.
I don't know what I was doing either.
I bought you the bootleg Disney DVD.
You probably saved on those. Good job. You got a clearance.
Yeah. Got this from eBay. But because here I had these two little dollars, and I was like,
you're making me think
and I made them go out. He was like,
George Bailey.
I'm not giving that guy millions of dollars. So
you told them to multiply.
Yeah.
On It's Wonderful Life. That's what I was thinking of.
I know.
But I don't know, what was I going to say? Oh, this is how we measured our richness.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the day. This is always
I always say this is our downfall.
So when Dwayne got that job that was not a right fit, the management was terrible, like all these things.
And we thought this was like the biggest salary
but he got
ever.
this job. I don't even know how much you were making. It's irrelevant, but to us now it wouldn't be a big number, but to us then, newly married, just graduated, that was a big number. But we went to we lived in Grove City and went to what's that place called?
Kirkland's.
Yeah, but what's the outlets? We went to the outlets. Our favorite store was Kirkland's, so it's like a home goods store. And there were these pillows. They're not even pretty when I think of them now. It was like brown and it had threaded flowers on it, and then in the middle of the flowers was like a gem. And we bought these pillows, and they were what, $70 a pillow? Is that real? Isn't that real?
No.
I thought it was. I thought it was
My gosh, you embellished the story.
How much
First
was
of all, Kirkland's wasn't my favorite store.
It was mine.
You said we. It was our favorite store.
We like to go there all the time.
I like to go there to buy you things because I was a newlywed.
I like it.
But
I thought we spent...
No, not $70.
Maybe, was that the total?
I think it was like... Was it like $30 or $40 a pillow?
So did we buy 2 or 4? For some reason, I think 70s in my head.
We bought 2.
Okay.
So it would have been like 80.
Okay. Well, we spent a lot on these couch pillows that weren't even good. Like the gems fell off. But that was our measure of success when we could buy the fancy pillows in Kirkland's.
No, I say that's our downfall. like it was that meme where
At that time,
it's,
we were like, oh, wow.
It's Tiger King, and we're not going to financially come back from. We haven't financially recovered from that $40 pillow.
Still making poor choices.
My goodness.
No, I feel like we're a little bit better.
How much were those pillows we got from Target? I know they. Yeah.
They weren't that much.
I'm pretty sure. And
But
then you have one for each season.
Well, I like to decorate.
So.
It's for the children.
Didn't learn.
The holidays are for the children.
We're just turning this into a session of us complaining.
Sorry, everybody.
No, but that was fun.
I don't know how we got here.
No, neither do I. You mean in the marriage or? No. Oh, okay, yeah. In the podcast?
Segment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both.
Just kidding. I look around and I'm like,
how did we get here?
Oh,
in my mom's basement doing a podcast.
I'm glad we're not living here yet.
We'll bring our fancy pillows. It's fine.
A lot of them. No. So about faith.
Yes.
So at times it might seem like it's not something that you're going to be able to get through, and maybe you don't think God's going to show up, or it's taking him long to show up. Just look back at the times that you've given him, those small things or even those big things, and just use those as memorials of what he's done in your past. He's gotten you through to this point, and you're still living, you're still breathing, and you're still able to turn to him and rely on him. So don't think that this time that I'm going through is going to be it, because even if it's the last moment that you have on this earth, God still brings you through, and he brings you to him. So even after this, eternity is going to be with him, with peace and understanding. And I think that's just what you have to do, is just remember. So
yeah, I pictured the Lion King.
Remember.
Mufasa in the sky. Remember who you are.
Okay.
Yes. Remember who God is.
Remember. And I think I'm probably gonna have to edit all those remembers. Okay, so it's been great. We're happy that you are listening, and we hope to talk to you next Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.